Well, LTNs, I think, is the new phrase that's just come up since COVID. If we look at it, LTNs are low traffic neighborhoods. Low traffic neighborhoods actually cause a lot of congestion on the arterial roads in and around the local areas that people want to go to have a safer, cleaner, better environment. Better environments for that kind of thing is not really for the capital, London, or for cities, any other cities, really. If you really want to have low traffic networks, you should be living outside London and allow Londoners and electric taxi drivers to really move in and around London as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I drove in this morning through Fulham and Putney. It was 20-mile-an-hour limit most of the way, speed cameras every couple of hundred yards. And one reflects that when the traffic actually is slower and it stops starting, you're actually creating more pollution than if the traffic was running freely.
There is no doubt we're creating more pollution. I mean, there's a lot of idling whilst you sit in traffic. And if you think about it, people who live in the low traffic neighborhoods at 3 o'clock when they go to pick up their children from school for their 1 mile or 2 mile a day journey, they even cause more congestion idling in and around the local arterial routes.
Do you get much feedback from your own passengers about them?
Without doubt, taxi fares go up. Basically, we have to take the longer route. You know, the old myth of taking the longer route seems to be coming alive today because we have to go round the longer route to get into local areas and to drop off passengers. And it also has an effect with disabled passengers. We can't set down our disabled passengers exactly outside their home because you've got cameras who would take pictures of your number plates, and drivers are scared to go into these areas now to drop passengers.
What about the other side of this, and that is ULEZ, the ultra-low emission zone? One assumes because you're running an electric taxi service, actually you're giving the thumbs up for that. And clearly one of the big problems for these city centres has been the nitrogen dioxide coming from a lot of old diesel vehicles.
Correct. So without doubt, I mean, Sherbet, the electric taxi company, have moved way ahead. We only deliver electric taxis for our passengers. But you can see with the amount of Uber cars on the road and other private hire vehicles on the road that actually give out carbon emissions, it seriously is having an effect. Licensed London cab drivers have invested £300 million in electric taxis. They should be allowed to go in to the low traffic neighbourhoods. We should be incentivised to actually use what we call the rat runs, because that's what keeps London and Londoners and their movers and shakers getting through London fast.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, actually. What's it actually like being the driver of an all-electric vehicle? Are there enough charging points for you? Are you looked after? Do you feel loved?
Well, I run an electric taxi fleet, one of the largest electric taxi fleets. My drivers love driving an electric taxi. Yes, we have infrastructure issues with charging. I had one today. I tried to charge twice, and both machines weren't working. But we learned to live with it, and we know London pretty well. We know where to go, and we charge our vehicles and service London in line with the mayor's strategy.
What would you make of road charging? Because clearly a lot of people are a bit suspicious about these plans for driverless cars, for instance, that the technology actually is just there to enable road charging to take place at some stage.
Well, I love the idea of road charging, wireless road charging. Look, we can't fight uphill against technology. Technology is leading the way. Autonomous vehicles will come. Really and truly, London taxis, electric London taxis, will remain part of London's integral infrastructure, especially if we innovate and embrace technology like we're doing today.